detail and facts that is unimportant. The devil is in the details. The solutions are going to come out of very specific things. And it's important to sometimes be conceptual. And it occurred to me as I was sitting there that in this building behind us, there's 535 people who are supposed to work for us. It ought to be that is the last place in the country that you would go to get rich. It needs to be a legal standard, okay, that before, during, and after your term in service here, your money is going to be watched, okay? And anybody who runs for office needs to know that he has the opportunity to serve, but he will not have the opportunity to make money from what he's doing in that or what he does immediately afterwards, if there is even the appearance of impropriety. So that's very conceptual. I don't know how the lawyers would work it out, but we need to have that vision. That is the last place in the country you can go to get rich. Now I'm going to give my speech, and I hope I don't put anybody to sleep, probably not in the cold. On April 15, 2015, a mailman from Florida landed a one-man gyrocopter right there after a 70-mile flight from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. 535 letters in postal half-trays were strapped to the landing gear, one for every member of Congress, calling them out on the crisis of corruption and the evil of big money in politics. And I'm proud to say I was the pilot. For the flight, I served 4 months, 3 months of it in federal prison in Miami. I was surprised how well I fit in. It was a pretty good deal. They originally wanted to give me 9 years for a flight, which is no injury and no property damage. And it's not that I stepped on some powerful toes. I stomped on the dragon's tail with both feet as hard as I could. The issue isn't actually corruption, and it isn't actually big money in politics. It's not Citizens United. The issue is equality. Big money in politics shifts power from the people to the people with money. It makes representation proportional to the amount you're willing to invest in the candidates who will give you the goodies. Tax breaks, government contracts, tax regulation, and protection for the aristocracy that the media is finally calling the donor class. Don't think for 1 second the Democratic Party doesn't have their donor class. This isn't partisan, and it will take massive participation from the left and the right on the one issue both sides agree on. Now, I'm going to quote a line from Professor Lessig with apologies in advance. It's been a while since I copied anybody else's homework. Money in politics isn't the most important issue, it's the first issue. It's the thing we have to solve before we can address climate change, healthcare, prescription gouging, tax reform, senior citizen protections, energy policy, veterans care, income inequality, criminal justice reform. Get the idea? Whatever it is, it's very likely the thing that's prevented reform on your most important issue is big money in politics. This is the issue of the century, and consider this not as a prediction, but a possible scenario. Let's say Wolfpack move to amend and American Promise get a constitutional amendment passed. Money is not speech, corporations are not people. Okay, we can go home. Not so fast, people. History is a good teacher. The Civil War amendments, the 13th, 14th, and 15th, freed the slaves, reversed Dred Scott, and guaranteed the vote for former slaves and their descendants. Without arguing the state of racial inequality today, the next big step for African Americans after the Civil War amendments didn't happen for a century. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 finally put some teeth behind the 15th Amendment and backed it up with criminal penalties and sometimes truths. But it had been in the Constitution since 1865. The point being, the constitutional amendment wasn't enough. It took legislation, a century later, to begin the journey to racial equality. The Civil Rights Act, however, would have been unconstitutional without the 15th Amendment. We need both. It's crucial the power of the anti-citizens united groups shifts to support the experts in legislative reform. The leader in local and state anti-corruption right now is Represent Us. They enlisted experts to analyze the legal options and the hurdles after Citizens United. So after an amendment is passed, let's say all three groups get behind Represent Us along with Equal Citizens and Take Back Our Republic, and with a clear field that ending Citizens United granted, sweeping legislation is passed at the federal level to end graft. Congress looks around and sees that the bureaucrats are cashing in ways that Congress can't. So Congress, jealous of others being more dishonest than them, nails the revolving door shop. The entire federal government starts functioning for the citizens of the United States. And the states, seeing what's going on, they demand legislation pattern after what the federal government has done. And damn, the states turn around and impose honest government standards at the local level. I'm not saying reform will happen overnight, but I do believe it will happen. And if it works in the United States, citizens of the world will notice, and the movement could very well become global. And my original flight didn't solve the problem, but the movement has grown. My personal goal is to see a wall of separation between big money and our government, because equality will follow in the wake of that reform. Solutions will emerge to the critical issues that my children and grandchildren will face, even if I don't live long enough to see them completed. So what's a retired mailman supposed to do? After prison, I got my pilot's license and a new gyroplane. I ain't done yet. This year, in the summer of 2020, I'm taking this message on the road, or more accurately to the air, by gyrocopter to every state capital of the lower 48. Legally, of course. Starting near DC and ending in DC, we're going to bring the word to citizens through local media, coast to coast and back again. I'm going to every state capital and 5 major media cities to introduce the movement to people who are not yet engaged. And by the end of the 4-month, 10,000-mile odyssey, the national media should take note. Aside from being an awesome trip, the flight is a chance to use my infamy to bring out the local press, do interviews, and promote the groups that are promoting the solutions. My contribution will be to recruit for them. And my message is to find the group that you're comfortable with, join, and participate at whatever level you can, and be part of the solution. If the national media likes the story, this message could reach millions. On October 6th, we'll be here with thousands of our friends because we're going to finish the national tour with a rally. United Against Corruption, maybe a different name, but the same idea. And we'll have the leadership and the membership, the message, and the solutions. 2020 marks the start of equality, not the end of corruption. I thank you for your patience and your time. The project is barnstorming.us. I've got brochures in a brown box. I think they're over there. And I can't possibly do this without you. Thank you.